everybody, what's going on? Hope you're having a safe and awesome week. Got a rapid review for you. It's actually one of the Kickstarter comics I got before the new year. And this one is called Gaslighters. This was a really fun book to read. I think I must have read it about 3 or 4 times now. John Stewart and team, when that hardcover hits Kickstarter, you can bet I'm going to back it. This was created, written, and lettered by John Stewart. Penciled by William Allen Reyes, colored by Michael Yakutis, I think. Sorry if I butcher your name. Inked by Chris Ariswenda. I want to say it's Ariswenda. And the awesome cover that you see was done by M.R. Gunn. This is from, I want to say the publisher's called Violent Studios. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. Basically how this book starts out, it's a boy that asks his grandma, Nana, how did the zombie war start? The grandmother tells him that in a lab somewhere, they're doing some secret experiments, and they're trying to basically make a Captain America. They're trying to make super soldiers. Well, the experiment goes horribly wrong, and this deadly virus is unleashed, and it turns a lot of the population into these monsters overnight. Now, the thing about this is there are 2 groups of these zombies. One is called the dying breed, and they're the ones that they eat living flesh. They do this to fight off a disease called the wasting. They call it the wasting disease. If they don't eat enough, they just waste away until they're no more. The second group is called the Everlastings. They don't feel pain, they don't waste away, but they can control their hunger for flesh. They're more accepted by humans. There was this big war that lasted for a few years called the Dying War, and after it, the dying breed, they were banished to the desert. They call it the Deadlands. But the Everlastings, they were allowed to live in cities after the war. The dying breed is also known as night lurkers. And that's actually where we first meet them, is in the Deadlands in the middle of the night. Now the dying breed, they're not stupid. You know, they have this hunger for flesh. They kind of feel like your typical zombies, but they're more regimented like an army. So they're deciding that they're going to attack this town, but they want to do it very precise. I mean, even to the point where they're walking through the desert, one of the zombies, his name is, they call him Peanut, who's the hungriest of all, hasn't eaten in weeks, wants to attack these people that for some reason are out there in the Deadlands in the middle of the night. I would think that it was common knowledge, don't be out there, but these folks are out there. But the main, I guess the general, is telling Peanut, no, we're going for this town, we can't have any distractions. So they continue their walk. They stop, I guess they're pretty close to the town. I don't really remember. I know I've read this 4 times and I don't remember every single part of it, but so sorry about that. But they end up stopping, and Peanut's finally like, you know what? Sorry guys, I'm just way too hungry, and he charges out. The next scene is on a rooftop where you meet the protagonist, Zoe Chase. She's also known as Nightmare. She's a bounty hunter. And she, it shows you her on top of a building with a sniper rifle. And it gives you her a little bit of backstory. She's half zombie. So I guess there's some kind of interbreeding of zombies. But she's half zombie. She's on this rooftop. I think it's a wall in L.A. where she's looking for her next bounty. It skips to, I guess, her in her apartment. And she's playing a very Call of Duty-esque game, I think. And she gets a call from a guy named Joe. And Joe's like, you're about to love me. And she's like, I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. She's kind of a Harley Quinn-esque character. She's very funny, very quippy, very dangerous, but totally awesome character. I really like this character. But she tells Joe, you know, I'm training, And he goes, yeah, I can tell you're training really hard because she's actually streaming her game and Joe's watching it. Well, she meets up with Joe at a bar, and Joe hands her her next bounty, and the bounty is for a guy named Billy Killinger, or Killy the Kid. So she gets the bounty. She ends up at, it feels kind of like a cantina. Maybe it's just like a club in this town. And she's in there with all these, I want to say they're zombies too. One of the guys, the head guy in there, like takes off his hat and says, "You're in the wrong place. Don't you see the horns? I'm the devil." She basically talks some smack to him, and he goes, "Well, you're locked in here with us." As she says a very Rorschach-like line. It's not to a T, it's not verbatim, but she's like, "The way I see it, I'm not locked in here with you. You're dead in here with me." And she proceeds to just kick the crap and kill most of the people in there. You know, she came in here looking for Killy. They were giving her a hard time, of course. So she just takes most of them out, puts a shotgun to the devil leader of this place. It's like, "Again, I'm going to ask you, where's Killy?" And he's like, "Bathroom." And boom, she just blows his head off. It's very awesome artwork, by the way. Well, she goes looking for Killy in the bathroom. Of course, he hears her coming. He unloads like an Uzi into the door, blows a hole in the door. So naturally, I'm kind of already seeing it. I don't think she says something like, "Here's Johnny," but I think she says, "I'm your nightmare," or something like that, sticks her head in the hole. Killy starts to plead with her. He's like, "Hey, look, I know what you really are. You're actually different from everyone else. You're special." And she's like, "Nice try." She's like, "You got 10 seconds to explain why I shouldn't do this." She says that while she's pulling a pin on a grenade. And she throws it in the bathroom with him. Grenade explodes, naturally. And she notices that the night lurkers are outside of the bathroom window. Well, while she was messing with Killy, they had come in through the front and were eating, I guess, the remains of the dude she just took out. So she's got to fight her way out of this, which she does in totally kick-ass fashion. This is a book that I cannot explain to you because it just wouldn't do it justice. You know, she gets out of there doing some really kick-ass things. So the general and a couple of the other dudes that were looking for Killy themselves show up, and Peanut is the one that finds him in the bathroom. He's like, "I think he's dead, boss." So they send the medic in there, and their medic kind of says, "He's got a pulse, but it's very weak. We don't have much time." And they're like, "Medic, reanimate stat." And the medic bites Killy's arm. After that, it goes back to Zoe is arriving in this, it looks like a workshop, where she's greeted by her friends Rabbit and Pinky. And they're about to celebrate because Killy's bounty was like $1 million. So she killed him, she took a picture, so she got the bounty. Well, right after it shows them celebrating, the next thing you see on the very last page is Killy's hand popping up and somebody behind the scenes saying he's back. And that's how the issue ends. And to John Stewart and team, this book was awesome. I can see y'all are going to do great things with it. This story could go on for a while. Who's going to be a fan of this? Well, naturally people who are fans of zombie books. There's great action. It's a very quick-paced story. And it's a very subverted genre of zombies because you don't have... Yes, Peanut does the stupid thing by just charging into the village, but they're both sides of the coin with the zombies. They're both intelligent, and they were smart enough to band together and form like a regiment of soldiers. So, if you're a fan of zombies, but you're getting tired of the whole, can't really speak and just lumber around and eat brains and all that other stuff, this is going to be right up your alley. Now, this being a first issue, I really couldn't find any cons with it. I don't go actively searching for cons in a comic book. especially the Kickstarter ones. This one is a first issue. I can't really give it any cons. There might have been, if it could have just been a little longer, but I mean, that's it. You know, there's only so much you can do with a first issue, you know, but without having to make it a freaking 90-page thing. But I digress with that. Anyway, this was a great book. Super excited for Gaslighters to continue doing what they're doing. John Stewart and team. Not wearing my hat, but my hat's off to you. That's going to do it all for this rapid review. I'll have a couple more coming later on in the week. Until then, you stay safe, you stay healthy, and we'll catch you next time. Later, tots.